Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
All right, in this video, I'm going to share with you a message that was sent to me by an Indian who's working in Oman. Seems that he's working for this company that is, if you check their website, it's pretty impressive. They are a contracting company. They are into oil and gas. If you see the website, looks like they're doing very, very big jobs. Sadly, I cannot share with you their name or identity, for legal reasons. And he doesn't want me to share his name because he is afraid. So I'll read out the letter and I'll give you my thoughts. And let me know what do you think and what would you advise this guy. Remember, he's an Indian based in Oman and who's working there and now wants to resign, leave, but his life is being made miserable. Okay. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, my name is Loy Machedo. I'm a personal branding strategist. I help people get well-paying jobs in Dubai, UAE. And then, when people want jobs in Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, I kind of brand them in a way that they stand out and teach them the loopholes of the system because I was there for 40 years. People also book my services for coaching, consulting, whether it's personal issues or professional problems. And I guess people like my point of view because it's pretty unique. I don't give the goody two-shoes, fluffy, feel-good advice. I give you real, practical, doable solutions. Okay? Details are put down below. Okay. So now this guy sent me the message. I will not state which, but he sent me a message. And this is what he says. I'll see if I can put a screenshot here or here. Okay. And obviously censor the rest of the stuff. Okay. This is what he says. Or maybe, I'll just put it on the screen so you can see it. All right. Here what he says. Hi, Loy. Hope you're fine. Yeah. Same shit, different day. I work for a company called Censored in Doha. I worked for this company for close to 2 years in the company, resigned last year, and the final settlement is still not yet paid. Okay, so last year he resigned. It's more than a year and they are not paying final settlement and dues for anyone. Okay. So most of the employees, what they do is lie, they tell lies and say that they have to leave early and they don't serve the notice. So let me just see online if it is mentioned how many employees do they have. Okay, 1 second. How many employees? Okay. It seems that they have approximately 1,000 to 5,000 employees. Oh, okay. So, wait 1 minute. Let me check. Is this in Doha? How many employees? Oh, okay. So around 1,000. Okay. It seems that they have around 1,000 because they have plenty of projects here and there. Okay. And I suspect most of them, because they are in the contracting, contracting oil and gas. So maybe a lot of temporary workers and based on the projects that you have, because some of my contacts who are there in oil and gas, if you get a mega project, then obviously you need to hire the people for that project. But if, you are waiting for a contract or waiting for a project or there are less, so it doesn't make sense having permanent employees. And when you have permanent employees, you have to give them more benefits. Okay, so I guess if it could be in the range of 1,000 to 5,000, let's hope maybe he sends me a message and then I'll update it in the comments below. Okay, so I served the notice as per labor law and they don't pay. I wrote several emails and contacted the accounts department, but they have zero fear. I mean, how is it okay for a company not to pay its employees and its dues? Well, this is one of the sad realities of the Middle East, whereby even in Qatar, when that World Cup that was taking place, there were so many controversies from the living conditions to I think those days, kafala, where once you come on someone's visa, they'll take your passport and you cannot leave the company, you cannot resign. And if you do resign, they can make life miserable for you. There were a couple of videos that were there from people, Indians in Saudi and in Qatar. You can Google search, where they were actually crying and begging the Indian embassy. And I guess our Indian embassy, there's only so much you can do, especially when you have a massive population like 1 billion and you're trying to do your best. But yeah, there's been improvement in what the Indian authorities have been doing under Narendra Modi's leadership compared to previously. Because I remember in the 80s and 90s, if an Indian was in jail, nobody gave a damn. But I think that lady's name is Shushmita or something, Smita, uh, the ambassadors, and I think primarily because of social media, and obviously the politicians know that they'll get extra beanie points. Especially, I would say it was very commendable what India did during the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and also when you had this Israel-Palestine issue. I think India really stepped up its game. So India is showing far more um, better service towards its citizens. In terms of Qatar and Saudi, I think Saudi and Qatar, this is my assumption, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Saudi and Qatar want to attract the international audiences to its place. So they are trying to improve their human rights record, especially Saudi, because they want to compete against Dubai. And they want to show we are humane, we are not like animalistic or, like we don't give a damn. So, and under MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, they've tried to liberate and show that we are modern, we're no longer the hardcore prehistoric Islamic, this thing where women could not go to drive or women, anything they needed to do, they had to take permission. So they had concerts from Justin Bieber, Cardi B. They bought in paid influencers to say, "Oh, I'm freely roaming around in Saudi." However, I always tell people, listen, when you're talking of years and years of belief, lifestyle, culture, tradition, you can't change it in just 1-2 years. What people have been following for 500 years or plus. Okay, and even to this date, there are a lot of people who, when they go to Saudi, they endure problems with their employers. They get a ban or they get put in jail. I know this because people send me messages. Oh, the only problem is every single person who sends me a problem, I can't keep making videos. Like this week itself, I received how many? I think nine different complaints. One guy, he gave money to his girlfriend Filipina, and she's not paying him. What to do? Then there's a guy. He wants to take the employer to the court, which I told him, see, listen, don't do that. They are not small people. Then there was another guy who wanted to physically hit his manager because his manager has been using abusive bad words to calm him down. And they're not my clients, huh? By the way, they're not my clients. But I do give them a little bit of advice if I can give 1-2 lines. And then there was this girl who um, her employer is always giving her sexual innuendos. Means he's not touching her or anything, but he is always trying to be sleazy. So she was like, how do I handle this? And then the other ones, my boss is not treating me well. He promised me a salary increase. So what I'm trying to tell you is there is a never ending list of problems people send me, but I can't keep making videos about each and every problem. Then, I'll be focused more on making videos of this Indian, this problem, this Indian, that problem. And The number of emails, the number of messages that I already receive of people and their problems is enough. So anyway, coming back to this. So this guy has not been paid for a year. Okay. And he's saying that how can companies do like this? Then he says, maybe you can share this in your video, how to tackle the situation. See, the thing is, if a company is in a country and they have been operating, like, for example, this company from 1978, means they have contacts and connections in the market, which means they have strong sponsors or citizens, who are the owners of the company. It means that they have a strong legal team, which means they have finance and money, enough muscle that they can take you to court. I remember when I had a problem with one guy, and those days I was very egoistic. So even though this guy was Indian and we had a issue, ego. Uh, Predominantly, he was supposed to pay me an X amount. I don't remember exactly. Let's say, for example, hypothetically, he was supposed to pay me, say, 15,000 dirhams for a particular service I gave him. He maybe gave me uh, he gave me half or less than half. I don't know the exact amount, so I'm not telling you. So let's say 15,000. He's giving me 7, and we go back and forth. And I got pissed off with him, and then I threatened to take him to court. And I'll tell you, when you threaten an owner or someone who's powerful, that you'll take them to the police or legally, some of them take this very personally. Some of them, uh, they don't handle that in a nice manner, because it's more like you're questioning their manliness, you're threatening them. So this guy, even though he's Indian, when I told him, I'll take you to court, he was like, I challenge you, and then the bad words, I challenge you, motherfucker, take me to court. He's saying, I'll make sure I drag your ass. Okay, this is his exact words. I'll make sure I drag your ass. I will extend every possible date. I will not show up, or I'll send my lawyer or a request for a new date, and I'll drag it for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't care, and I don't care how much money goes, but I'll destroy your life. And I'll tell you, no matter how strong you are, no matter how smart you think you are, when a guy with money and power loses his cool and he looks you right in the eye and tells you that I will use every possible resource, finance, money, contact, connection, I have to destroy you, your blood just drains out of your system. So for me, I'm telling you today, I got scared. I really did get scared, even though I was muscled and big and all that, and he was not muscled. And thankfully, because I had local Emirati contacts and connections in the police, in the court, and influential locals, they said, "See, listen, Loy, don't go this route. Okay, amicably, just try to make peace." And one of them was kind enough to volunteer and said, I'll come with you and I'll request on behalf of you, because he was a close friend. So he came dressed up in a kandura. And I'll tell you, uh, that Indian guy, even though he saw someone local, he didn't, I knew that he was kind of nervous. You could make out. But he also stood his ground. And later on, after they spoke, it went on for 45 minutes. Finally, they shook hands and said, okay, now I'll not make a court case. He spoke on behalf of me. He said, I'll not do anything, but accept this, sign the document. You go your way, I go my way. So what I'm trying to say is, people with money and power, any country, anywhere in the world, don't, like this in India, no, don't take panga. So what advice I would give you is, if the company that you're dealing with is powerful, if they are rich, if they are well connected, if they have been established for so many years, if they have government officials and people that they know, you cannot win. You can make a case, you can take it to court, but you will lose in the end. What do I mean by that? Even if you win the court case, I I gave this example in one of my previous videos. Very well-known brand, very well-known. I personally know this brand. And this guy worked for this company for nearly 30 years, 30 plus years. He was owed almost, in the range of like $100,000. Huh? And because he was also well-to-do, he also had money. He worked in a senior position. He decided to take this company to court. But always remember, a single individual employee is never richer and more powerful than a company that has been there for 30, 40 years. So he did take them to court. And in a twist of events, which I was shocked, even though this court case dragged on, I think for nearly 10 years. Okay. Uh, 10 is the rounded figure. He won. I was shocked. I was really shocked. I was like, you won? And this company lost. But then again, here's a twist. After, because he is rich and well-to-do, he had someone maintain the books of accounts of how much. The amount of money he lost for the court case, for the lawyer, for the judge, the entire duration, and, you cannot leave the country, you cannot go get another job. It didn't make any sense. And now it seems when he has to get the payment back, it's another headache in itself. And overall, even though he was supposed to get 100,000, his expense, his overall expense and charges and the waiting period to get the money back, and they also have this appeal system and all that. Him and I didn't keep in touch after that. I don't know whether they appealed, but 100,000 is what you're supposed to get. He ended up paying more than 100,000 for all this. So was it worth it? Was it worth the victory? And if you keep appealing and you can make new court cases, and a company has resources that an individual cannot have, and they will burn you. They'll make sure that they destroy you. In fact, I know someone who very close to me, very, very close, whom I deeply respect, Emirati guy, and nicest person on the planet. But the guy that he was a partner with, he tried to screw him. And this Emirati guy, even though the nicest guy in the world, he made sure that this guy's life got destroyed. Seriously, huh? He made sure that he wouldn't get out of the country. He couldn't get another job. He couldn't do anything. And even if like the case was coming to a close, he would put in new case and new this thing. He didn't give a damn as to how much money he would lose. He was out to destroy this guy because this guy did a couple of personal things to him. So all I'm telling you is, if you don't have the money, don't have the contacts, don't have the connections, don't have the government people, don't fight with the company. Just take whatever you got. Rest say it's collateral damage. It's, this is my bad debts. Just let go, man. Let go. So then he also shared with me a couple of screenshots of the company, which I'll have to censor and share with you. And there are plenty of people who are mentioning on the website. Wait, here are the images. Number one is this one guy on LinkedIn. He has put the company's name, he has tagged them, and he has said, kindly asking to pay our final settlement. There's a lot of people waiting. One second. There's a lot of people who are waiting for their payment. If we have money, why do we have to travel abroad? I've been working for over 3 years with this company. Even 1 month that I don't have money to pay. When they make claim by mail or message, I went directly with the same response next week. I spent many more years. And then he puts the response of the HR department. And then he has actually put the names of people. That's why I have to censor. He's put the name of, I don't know, the owner or who's this. One is an Arabic name, one is an Indian name. And then, dear brothers and sisters, I would like to make you a request. If you have a new job, please check the background of the company. Okay. And he has hashtagged everyone. See, you can get into trouble if you do this on a public platform. And then One other guy, he has even put, please pay my settlement, which is pending for the last 2 years. And then finally, he has shared with me the screenshot of the company's LinkedIn page. Okay. See, um, he still has written a lot of things like, for example, he's saying that I've written to the project directors, they are all cool, they are okay with cheating employees. If the company is suffering financially, why don't you insure yourself? All this sounds good. Even he has given, I'll I'll put the screenshot, I'll pause it so that you can read it. He says an Indian gets paid 8,000, our big guy gets paid 20,000. We know all this. We know all this. Everyone knows all this. And if you don't know, you're not done your homework. However, keep one thing in mind, which I've always told you is, if you know what you're getting into, then you can't change the system. Okay. Overall, see, if I were to give in a nutshell, if I were to summarize, I would just say this. Okay. You can't change the world. You can't change the system. You can't fight with someone who's powerful, especially if you're an employee. And if you're going to use social media to name and shame them based on the country where they are operating, maybe the rules favor them. And if they have the muscle power, that is the money, to take you to court, and they have contacts and connections, they will figure out some loophole in the system and you will get screwed. Because remember, they will have access to the best lawyers, the best legal team. You might only have within your budget a small timer. End of the day, it is not end of the day, in a perfect world, it'll be nice to know that justice is served. Sadly, we don't live in a perfect world. I would just say that sometimes it's better to cut your losses. Remind yourself, these are bad debts. I made a mistake. I'm not going to make a mistake again. And yes, after you get out of the country, after you leave, then you won't inform whomsoever, make a big noise on social media. Just make sure that they don't have the jurisdiction to put another legal case on you, because the last thing you need is unwanted legal trouble. Because once somebody starts, I don't think they're going to stop, especially someone who's powerful. And where egos are concerned, I've learned the tough way. Don't hurt a person's ego. You'll regret it for the rest of your life. All right. So this is what I have to say to you. I'll just conclude by saying that these are issues, these are problems that happen, but that doesn't mean the entire Middle East is bad. Doesn't mean everyone is evil. Doesn't mean Muslims are bad people or Arabs are bad people. In, let's say, if I were to give you a rough range, out of 10, you'll always get 2 bad apples. And maybe those 2 can be the worst. All right. Good, bad, ugly. Feel free. Let me know your thoughts. I might share the exact name with my WhatsApp groups because they're close people. But publicly, I don't think I'm going to do that. All right. Comment down below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.